Alright, so this is going to be an instructional video on how to take the gasoline out of your Ariens newer model snowblower, so it's summarized, so you don't, run into the situation everyone dreads where it won't start up the next winter. So basically, anytime you're putting gas in the snowblower, you should be using a fuel stabilizer, because you never know how long it's going to sit before the next time it snows. So this stuff is great, stable. It's what do you want to call it? Sacrificial oxidator or oxidative substrate. So basically, instead of the gasoline oxidizing, this stuff is going to be oxidizing instead, and it produces a byproduct that's not going to clog up your carburetor or keep your engine from running or keep your engine running rough. A lot of people say you can use this stuff over the summer, but I honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. All chemical reactions go faster when it's hot out. So when your snowblower is sitting in your shed and it's 99 degrees outside and it's 110 in the shed, you better believe this stuff's going to be oxidizing faster in the tank. So I don't care. I mean, you can if you want to leave this stuff. You leave the fuel in your snowblower all year, but do you really want to have to take the chance of going to an Ariens dealer or whoever fixes your snowblower when you really need it, when it won't start? So we're going to drain the fuel. Important point. Last time I ran this, I figured, every time I run it, I figure like it's the last time I'm going to run it for the year. So basically what I do is I get it to its storage area, I turn the fuel switch off, and I just let it run until it goes dry. Then I turn the choke all the way on, start it again, and let it run dry again. If you've got this stable stuff in there, then what'll be left in your carburetor, is like a fine vapor of gasoline and this fuel stabilizer, and hopefully some of it will evaporate and just get out of there. But either way, the fuel that's sitting in your carburetor will at least be stabilized, and that's about as good as you can do in terms of drying this thing out for the year. You can try and start it again after the full choke, but I've never been able to, so that's about as good as you're going to be able to do. Now the fuel line is not easily accessible on this machine, so we're going to have to take off a few panels on the outside before we can get at it. So I'm not exactly sure which panels are coming off, but I'm guessing it's this back. Alright, like I was saying before the space requirements of my fucking phone cut us off, I think we're going to need to remove this panel here, and then this, whatever the hell this is, I don't know, radiator of some kind, to get at the fuel line. You can see the fuel switch is right over here behind the pole thing, but there's no obvious place where the fuel line goes, so I think it's going to be under here somewhere, so we'll find out. Okay, so we got those that radiator and the back panel partially off, and you can see that it's connected still by this I guess grounding wire here, which is connected to the key starter. So I don't know what the hell that does, but anyways, opens a circuit, and then the choke or the prime button, which has a little tiny fuel line in the inside here. We can see the main fuel line running right here, so it's right where we thought it would be. So let's see if there might be an easier way to get at it without taking this stuff apart. Okay, so I've just disconnected that one screw that was hooked up to the key starter, so it's now flapping free in the breeze, and now we can really see the fuel line and where it's connected into the priming pump. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this little clip with pliers, and we're going to pull that thing off, and hopefully there's not any fuel left in the line, because like I said, I ran it dry. And we're going to use a funnel. We're going to put a funnel underneath it and go into the gas tank, the piece of crap gas tank, and we're going to drain the fuel out. We're going to turn that switch and drain the fuel out, and then we're going to leave everything open to let it air out for a little bit, just to let the vapors get out of there. Then we'll close it back up, and that should be that. Okay, this was fucking hard to pull off. Really on there, because that little nipple there. When you're pulling it off, I grabbed it from above and just put steady pressure on it, because I didn't want to damage the tube by putting a tool on it. Watch this thing. This nearly cut my finger off. Real nasty little edge there. So probably what I'm going to do before next season is I'm going to cut this a little shorter, and I'm going to put a little dip valve, drop valve in between here and here, so I don't ever have to pull this tube off again, and I can just drain the fuel. If you're any Ariens, or Ariens, engineers watching this, it would be real useful to have a place somewhere on the outside of this machine where you could dump the fuel at the end of the season without having to take it apart. But I mean, otherwise, while I'm taking this machine apart, I'm really impressed by the build quality. This is the Ariens Deluxe 24-inch. It is a beast, absolute beast. I mean, here in New England, we had, I don't know, 4 24-inch storms and like 5 12-inch storms. It was just absolutely terrible. That might be exaggerating, but we had like 7 feet of snow in the backyard, and I got this thing delivered to the driveway in January, the coldest, or February actually, coldest day of the year, and I put it together in the driveway in no time with bare hands, and then started it up, let it run in for about 10 minutes, and then just plowed my way back from the driveway with this sucker through all those 7 feet of, like, literally snow as deep as my head. Little by little, got all the way back to the shed and dug it out, and it probably saved me like 5 days worth of shoveling if I'd done it by hand, and this thing never even stuttered. A real beast. Alright, we got a little, oops, that's upside down, I think. Alright, we got a little backwoods ingenuity going on here, using the crescent wrench to hold the fuel line into this funnel that's going into the gas can, and we're going to go ahead and turn this turn the fuel on and see if it drains out. And it should, otherwise I'm going to be, pissed because I don't have any other ideas. So yep, there it goes. So all that beautiful gas. The nice thing about these new snowblowers and these new small engines is they're 4-stroke. So you can just put this right in your car afterwards, instead of having this like gas you can't do anything with except for, run a lawnmower. So yeah, we'll just let that drain out and then we'll be done. Alright, so we're basically done. I'm not going to put it back together yet because I'm actually going to do that thing. I'm going to add a dump valve for the fuel so I don't have to pull that thing off every year. I'm going to take the rest of the stable and just put it in my car because I think it only has like a 6-month shelf life anyways. I wouldn't keep it. The whole purpose of it is to keep your fuel from being oxidized, and it itself is oxidized after a summer in the shed, it really doesn't do its job. So I would buy this. You buy this new every year. Don't be a cheap fuck. Alright, well that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video.